Hey guys, part 3 of the Glendalough series. See that peak up there? Don't know if you can really get a good view of the scale of it. That's where you're going with me, if you stick with it. I'd say at that stage we'll be huffed and puffed up there. Anyway, it's an amazing view, it's worth it. So guys, the aging narcissist. Woo, this is a touchy subject. The narcissist going through all the phases of their life. As children, the narcissist creator or enabler, usually one of their principal caregivers, would have told them that they could do no wrong and they were amazing and fantastic, and never hold them accountable, never pull them up over anything, and feed into their narcissism. So they would have got a lot of, reaffirmation, validation at that stage from their primary caregiver, and probably from others, because they wouldn't suffer friends that wouldn't give it to them, or teachers, or any authority figure. Narcissists hate authority figures. They believe they are the authority and their way is the only way. Then they get to the stage where they're, in their 20s and 30s, and the world is their oyster. They may, usually often are good looking or charming or have some character trait that is very appealing on first impressions. So they basically rife through life using sources of supply, dumping, short relationships, abusing people, going out with 2 or 3 people at the same time. They feel invincible. The amount of suffering they cause can be immense. They're totally unaccountable, but they have a huge amount of control over their lives at that stage, and control over others, because they use their physical charms to a huge extent at that stage. This is when they are in their zone. They're in their narcissistic prime, and they do a huge amount of damage to people. They really don't care. Supply is endless, and they feel it'll go on forever. So in a trail of destruction, they eventually will marry and have children, because there comes a stage, and it's often later in life, and hey guys, if you got married later in life, this has nothing to do with kind of that kind of circumstance. It's just that with narcissists, they often do get married later in life because they don't want to take on that responsibility while they're in their prime, and they're getting away with murder, sometimes even murder. So they take on the family and the children or marriage to fit in, to appear as if they're normal, and to also get supply from us, to lock people down. But this is a stage that they don't like, because they don't like to feel hemmed in or trapped. But this is very important as a pure move, so that they will fit in with their friends and what everybody else is doing, and will appear to be normal. They do get supply from their partner, obviously, and they get supply from their children, but they do not want the responsibility of it. So they will always look for someone. If they do divorce, you'll find when they get married, they'll always look for a partner very quickly, someone to share the responsibility of childcare, etc., when they get to that stage. So that's kind of stage 3 with the narcissist. When they get to stage 4, usually marriages or relationships have broken down. Oftentimes they end up in very bad situations financially, Not all narcissists do. Some are get a lot of supply from their jobs, but you will find it is a common denominator that narcissists run out or end up in very bad financial situations at different stages of their lives. I'm just going down to an old miners' village there. There's people coming along to finish the video. So the aging narcissist, when they get into their 50s and they find themselves down and out on their luck, they may find a relationship that bides them over for a few years. They may pick up on people who are going to help them, get them out of situations, and that may stabilize things for a while. But they know at that stage that with their looks disimproving, they also don't take great care of themselves, even though they look like they do. Some of them are into sports, but they'll also often have addictions, and they have so many worries and stresses and unhappiness built up over all the things they've done over their lives. They often don't age very well. So they're in a position where they're not as powerful as they once were. They have to be very careful with their sources of supply because they're not as plentiful. They've also gotten to a stage where they've built up a pattern over their lives of being known as heartbreakers, but in your 50s being a heartbreaker is more of a pathology than a quaint, cute, kind of romantic bowl boy thing. And they realise this, and they know they've got to be careful with their personal presentation. So you'll find aging narcissists will be far more likely to hold on to supply if they can for longer. 2, will be very much inclined to be very private in relation to their Facebook posts and what they let each person know. What they let family know and friends know may be a totally different story. They'll also be very, very harsh in relation to discards, because for them to feel better about themselves and to prove to themselves that it's actually not them that's causing all this misery in their lives, they will crucify a partner at this stage. They will, like a ketchup bottle, they'll shake you upside down to get the nth degree of pain out of you, and they'll bang on the bottom of the bottle to make sure they have every bit out of you before they move on to someone else, because they need this to sustain them. Supply is in short supply at this stage of their lives. They'll also do a horrible smear campaign, because they're not only proving to other people, but they're trying to prove to themselves that it wasn't their fault, that all their lives' mistakes that have brought them to this stage were just bad luck and people not appreciating who they were and meeting the wrong people. So at this stage, when people go, and this is another relationship that's broken down with you and you're in your 50s, like, is the common denominator you? So they have to go very, very hard on their ex-partners, on you, to say, this is the way it goes. Oh, I thought finally that I'd found the person of my dreams, and I did my very best to make it work. And we have gone to counselling and we've gone through so much together, and it is with such a sad heart that I have to leave this person because they were extremely abusive to me. And they list the things that are wrong with you, basically, at this stage. They have to be really, really careful now, because if they're going into their 60s, the next relationship has to work, or at least it has to work for a longer period of time, because otherwise their coterie begin to really question who this person is. They already have a fair idea, but the image here is all important. So the aging narcissist, in my opinion, can be extremely vicious, extremely cruel, extremely covert, and can keep their narcissistic characteristics and traits hidden for far longer because it's crucial for them to do so, because supply is not as plentiful as it once was, and because their image management at this stage is everything. Okay guys, that concludes part 3, the aging narcissist, and I'm about to climb up this hill to go up there, and we'll definitely be out of breath, so I'll make the next part 4 video when we get to the top. Stay with me guys, like and subscribe if you like the content, and talk to you soon. Bye.